What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a no headphones edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, Looks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Yeah, my headphones had this little buzzy thing going, but now producer Jacob tells me after 2 years of doing this shit together that he's like, you know what? I don't like headphones in this. You should just not wear your headphones. So we've learned that he's been sabotaging my entire career, my entire life, and now I wonder what goes through the editing process. You know what? Never mind. It's all right. It's Friday, so I don't really care. Producer Jacob, do your worst. Have fun, my friends. Actually, we got some fun stuff in store for you. A couple of bits, a couple of fun things, but most importantly, we got winning bets coming down the pipeline, and that's really all we've had coming down the pipeline for 2 months. I find it ironic that the comment sections are much quieter on days when I smash. Much quieter when I'm hitting plus 240 triple doubles for Domantas Sabonis. Alperen Şengün still pisses me off. One day early. Does it against the Clippers, but one day early. It is what it is. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a ton of other games here that exist on the slate, but I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about. We'll talk about Bet365, Odd Chopper a little bit later. Want to give you the boss. Give the info. That bit's like 20 years ago. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Our lovely day begins with my head blocking the Bet365 thing. Whatever, we're going to continue on. New Orleans taking on Philadelphia, my friends, and Philly, they are in shambles. Obviously, the Joel Embiid thing. Well, now it's the Tyrese Maxey thing. He won't be playing basketball. Kyle Lowry got a night of rest. He should be in. He should be ready to rock. And they're going to need him to play around 30 minutes. So that's not what you want from Kyle Lowry in the year of our Lord, 2024. A lot of junk in that trunk. But we got New Orleans on the other side. Did you know, first, with Herb Jones at the helm, I mean, this guy is incredible to watch on the defensive end. But #1 in defensive rating since the All-Star break. That is the New Orleans Pelicans. And if you watch the games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Suffocating pick-and-roll defense. That is something that works playoff time. And I almost considered saying Western Conference sleeper. Maybe we put a little bit of coin on it, New Orleans Pelicans, at some of their numbers, but I'm going to feel it out. I'll probably have a post on X tomorrow about it if I end up pulling the trigger, but got some things I need to run, need to find some better numbers perhaps, but we'll see. New Orleans, I do think, is a little bit sneaky in the West. If you can play that kind of on-ball defense with wings come playoff time, you are valuable. You are very, very valuable. And then the Zion character seems to be pretty good. But Tobias Harris is really the guy that I want to highlight, talk about here in this portion. He has struggled over the course of this season without Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on the floor, and that makes no damn sense. It makes no damn sense, but you've seen it now in a couple of these spots, and I think you just want to kind of be invested on the under of 26.5 PRA, which seems like an abnormally low number, but I repeat, Herb Jones is that dude. He's going to be on, well, I guess it's a combination of they can do pick and roll stuff where who are they going to pick and roll Tobias Harris with? He's been in the corner. He can't create for himself right now. It is so strange to watch. Of course, this will be the game that he goes completely bonkers and gets right. But for the time being, I am an advocate of waiting a little bit on some of the unders, mainly because, well, there's news that can pop up and only hurt you. I don't feel that way when it's New Orleans and I'm doing it. I mean, Herb Jones, if he ends up not playing for whatever reason, I will be in shambles. But I'm not a big defensive versus position guy, but there's just something going on with New Orleans defensively that I love. 225 total feels a little bit high. That would be kind of a lean portion, probably not going to be on the card, but Tobias Harris under 26.5 PRA, first bet that I made today. Game number 2, probably the one that's the worst on the card, and yet I have a play from it. Charlotte, +3 taking on Washington. We'll start on the Washington side. This is not where the play comes from. Landry Shamet, the only questionable piece, but since they got Bilal Coulibaly back, he is first-round equity, somebody that they're invested in. They're going to play him 30 minutes a night. That's going to cut away from like Johnny Davis minutes, the Landry Shamet minutes, if you will. But Corey Kispert's somebody that I do expect to start getting ramped in there. Jordan Poole's somebody that they want having coming off the bench. He's played really well off the bench, at least offensively. He continues to be a nothing on the defensive end. Might need to shore that up, but they're not making the playoffs this season. They're just looking at putting points on the board. Now, 227 total is one of the lowest you'll see from a Washington game all year. They are first in pace, and why is that? Well, Charlotte comes to town, and Charlotte, one of the worst offensive teams. In fact, number 30 in adjusted offensive rating since the All-Star break. So the exact inverse of what we talked about defensively for New Orleans. That is Charlotte on offense. You put those two together, Charlotte might score 70 at the moment. But I'm actually looking at Brandon Miller rebounds. And one thing that I probably haven't done enough on this program this season is talk to you about some of these early leans, even if, mainly because I look at it and I see minus 145. And I'm like, people are really, they're going to see minus 145. This might move to minus 165. But I would legitimately have this line set at 5 or 5.5 with juice to the over. If you've watched Brandon Miller, he's still going to be on the floor playing massive minutes here. They have Misic in the starting lineup, so you're bringing another small guy out there. Trey Mann, he's questionable for this one, but a lot of smaller players on the floor here. Nick Richards, less minutes. Grant Williams out there. So it's more of just like the opportunity he has to run into the basketball here more frequently. It's been up in the Grant Williams era with him playing more minutes than one Nick Richards who comes off the bench. Well, other way around. Grant Williams comes off the bench. Nick Richards. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's just move on with our live, shall we? Pay attention to Trey Mann. I would really like him to start next to those guys. Has the rebound opportunity go up, but still Grant Williams playing more minutes at the 5 than Nick Richards, even though he comes off the bench. Brandon Miller over 4.5 rebounds, minus 145 again. This thing should move. This thing should definitely move. So parlay people, I know you exist. Wanted to throw this one in for you. My Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, how Ant is alive right now, considering some of the unfortunate things that happened here lately. I mean, the guy just was getting mowed over, hurt every single possession. And he goes to the locker room, comes back, then falls hard, goes to the locker room, comes back. And he continues to just smash in this game. Now, inefficient shooting from 3, 1 for 5, but 19, 4, and 3 here at the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Came back and just eviscerated. That's going to be what you get with Cat out for the foreseeable future here. But I gotta say, I'm a little bit trepidatious about Minnesota on this back-to-back for a number of reasons. One, now you got to start protecting some of your main core pieces now that Karl Anthony Towns is on the sideline. Two, Anthony Edwards looks like he just went to war at the end of this game. So just saying, it has been a smooth sailing, I would say, just as far as the injury bug goes. We've had Cat out for extended periods of time in the past. Again, being a Minnesota fan, I'm very aware of these things. But I would actually be looking at Cleveland side and was talking a little bit on a live stream before this program that I felt as though I should be pulling the trigger watching Ant hobbling around, watching him. He's still extremely effective. He's a dude who just goes out and balls. And, well, I think you got to start protecting him against himself at some point in time here. You're going to need him and these guys for a huge stretch. And this is still a winnable game considering Evan Mobley is on the shelf here. And yet I'm inclined to bet Cleveland. I'm going to just call it a lean here for the time being. Haven't pulled the trigger. If you want to pull the trigger, go right ahead. They are the side that I'm leaning with, even with Evan Mobley out here. But again, do you see Ant play 36, 40 minutes tonight in this kind of condition? You got to start taking precautions. There's actual rest risk in this one, and that would change this line in a dramatic way. Odd Shopper, my friends, OS Premium Tools, and the Discord combined into one package. That is correct. You get my premium betting card, Isaiah Suarez's premium betting card, Greg Ehrenberg's premium betting card, everybody you know and love here at the Odd Shopper YouTube channel, all at your disposal. Well, in addition to our tools, which are really a centerpiece that I want to highlight, the Positive EV tool, the Parlay tool, and the Fantasy Optimizer for Underdog, for Prize Picks, for everything. Gotta tell you, friends, it is as good as it gets. So jump yourself over to Odd Shopper at the link down below, and then use promo code LINDY. That is Lindy. That is me. Promo code Lindy. Expert Picks, Discord, Premium Tools. Get 20% off your first week or first month. So $12 for a week, $42 for your first month to get all of that in one. It's a great, phenomenal little deal. Arugula. Actually, nobody remembers that bit, so we're going to move on to the next game. Much more interested in this one. I think this is kind of keeping me from betting the Cleveland side in the Timberwolves game here in the last one. It's Orlando heading to the Garden here, taking on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, questionable yet again here. And I think it's just worth a stab in the dark because, well, left knee contusion. They are being very, very cautious with him. And if he plays, he's going to play infinity minutes more than likely unless he looks hobbled. Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, their legs might fall off at the end of this season. That's just something that Tom Thibodeau does to people. Orlando, they're coming in playing stifling defense. The Dante DiVincenzo first quarter just has me on high alert. The tired legs. You get to the end of the season, it's hard to be undersized in the National Basketball Association, to put on that much volume and to be asked to do that much like Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart have been asked to do. And they're all undersized for their individual specific positions. Doesn't mean that they're not incredible. Dante DiVincenzo from deep, doing all of the things offensively that they need. Jalen Brunson, especially offensively, and then Josh Hart, glue guy, creates, does all of the things to pad the stat sheet, and rebounds the ball like an absolute demon for somebody who plays the three. So it's not that I'm just belittling the Knicks, but Orlando, you're getting the 1.5 here? What are we even doing? Leave it. Just give me the money line here in this spot, even money for something where I get the opportunity. If Jalen Brunson's in, well, 42-21. Get the spread. Do you want the 1.5? I'm going to leave it be. Just give me the money line here. Love what Paulo Banchero's doing. Love Franz Wagner. Now you also get this Orlando team back at full strength after the back-to-back, where they had to sit out half the Gary Harrises on the back-to-back, the Jonathan Isaacs. Full blast Orlando. This seems like a lot of fun. This one also seems like a lot of fun, but also I'm a little bit sad. Atlanta, 3.5-point favorites heading to Memphis. Shout out Jaren Jackson Jr. for just belittling Philadelphia. I mean, that was an incredible performance. And this looks a little bit reminiscent of it. Not that Philly is playing at the pace of Memphis. What I'm getting at is Atlanta's terrible defensively. And Jaren Jackson Jr., he's not the guy that you want to have be your number one player on the floor, which he is right now for Memphis, but he's a phenomenal number three. Defensively does all of the intangibles, and you know by now, Jaren Jackson Jr. will shoot a basketball. A very willing participant in the shooting department without Desmond Bane, without John Morant, without all of the notables that we've seen here the entire season. So Atlanta on the other side, the reason I'm so sad is Jalen Johnson is dinged up. He will not be playing basketball for this one. Hopefully the ankle injury isn't that bad. It sounds like he actually might be okay. They were a little bit worried about him. Kobe Buffkin's going to be out for a while. Kongu's been out for a while. Trae Young's going to be out for a while. So you're getting the Murray Bogdanovic starting in the backcourt. You're getting Hunter now potentially starting, coming in at this point in time, because you kind of have to with Jalen Johnson out. They're just kind of forcing DeAndre Hunter's hand now. They've been bringing him off the bench, being cautious with the minutes. Can't really do it anymore. I've got him for 30 here. I think this is the first time I've projected him for 30 minutes in a game yet this season. We jump over to the other side, though. It's going to be Memphis, and I just see Jaren Jackson Jr. having 30+% usage the rest of the way home. You get an Atlanta team that, again, 215. You don't see many games with a 215 total if you're Atlanta, but it's a lot higher than we've seen from Memphis of late. And Jaren Jackson Jr., can you account for 30 of those points? That would be lovely, because I want to bet it when I see plus money attached to it. Now, if you don't see plus money attached to it, don't do it. But I'm looking at the alternate line here, where it's just saying, hey, no Jalen Johnson out there. Clint Capella's still minimalized. Noah Kongu off the bench. They have to have some kind of a flat-footed dude coming off the bench and Bruno Fernando to play 20 minutes. Jaren Jackson Jr., 30+. Going to be a lean, but pay attention. Plus money. Key to the castle here. Atlanta, bring that pace. I do have a lot of interest on this card. Again, some of it is speculative. The Jaren Jackson Jr. one, take that and make sure you put that in your pocket. The Cleveland money line. Otherwise, we've had a play from every single game. This is the first one I don't actually have an official play from, or like a speculative play that I expect to end up on my card. It's Miami on the back-to-back, plus 8.5, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is just wild to see an Eric Spoelstra Miami Heat team on the back-to-back at 8.5. Now, I think this factors in potential rest for Jimmy Butler, potential rest for Terry Rozier, potential rest for a lot of Miami pieces. They've been dinged up for a long time. And Oklahoma City just absolutely obliterated Portland like we knew that they would. Thank you, Chet Holmgren. You cashed our lock in the first half, the over 15.5 points. Curious where that points prop drops here, but nothing is officially out here yet. I want to give him a shout out. Against Miami, yeah, it'll be slower in terms of possessions, but Chet Holmgren is a guy, I know he got beat up by Yusuf Nurkic. 31 rebounds. It doesn't look good on paper, but Chet Holmgren is a better rebounder than that. He was in college. He will be a better rebounder than he's been this season in the NBA, and it's not like he's been an absolute nothing here. The minutes have ramped up, and if they do blow them out, it's probably because of Chet Holmgren and SGA. So I look at the double-double market, think you're getting another nice plus money play, just based on previous odds that we've seen for Chet Holmgren here. So think this is a decent spot to take a shot. You could get the Bam Adebayo rest out of the middle of nowhere. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever. Lots of guys live to sit for Miami. This line could move even further. So I want to get the money in early here on Chet Holmgren in some capacity if you see double-double odds with nice plus money attached to it. If you don't, pass, go. Don't collect $200. Don't bet $200, that's for sure. Let's talk Bet365, though. Let's do this. Bet 5, get 150. Friends, there are 9 states. Yes, you heard me. 9 states where Bet365 is available. They are Arizona, Colorado, New Jersey, Louisiana, Ohio, Virginia, Iowa, Indiana, and Kentucky. If you're in one of those 9, you can go to the link below. Bet $5. Yes, just $5 when you set up a sportsbook over at Bet365, when you set up an account, over at Bet365 Sportsbook, and get yourself $150 in bonus bets instantly. There's no catch. There's nothing funky going on. Everybody's been able to collect their money immediately. Again, don't bet a future or something that comes out, months and months ahead of time. But when you bet 5 and it goes live, they send you that $150 in bonus bets. I did this when I visited New Jersey. It went well. Was able to cash out $575 over the course of the 2 days that I was in New Jersey. It was awesome. Take advantage, my friends, down at the link below. It's only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in the state of Kentucky. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. I believe we have a lot coming up. The Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Both of these teams coming off of just eviscerations. The Lakers, an embarrassing home loss to De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Domantas Sabonis and company, as the Kings just ran them out of the gym. And then Milwaukee, just, what are you doing? Golden State's been playing incredible ball. They've cashed a lot of locks for us here in the second half of the season. We were early to the party. As soon as Draymond Green got back, we were betting them immediately because you could see it in the tea leaves. Things had changed. They needed to win. They had to win. Kuminga and him together in the starting unit looked great. But of course, we're talking about Milwaukee and Los Angeles. Milwaukee got blasted to Golden State there, 120-95. Now, we are looking, 125-90, I believe it was. But anyway, Milwaukee here in this spot. It's kind of a must win. It's weird to say must win because it's not a must win. It is freaking Friday, March 8th. But this is going to be a very competitive game played with crazy amounts of pace. And the Lakers don't really have a choice to do anything but play with pace at this point in time because they've kind of made their bed with Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell in this starting unit. Obviously did nothing at the trade deadline to mix up their fates. They know what they have. Rui Hachimura played great. And I think the Q tag for LeBron James is just kerfuffery. That's not even a word. But anyway, the Milwaukee side of things, Giannis Antetokounmpo probable here in this spot. Nice to see him play in that game against Golden State, although he didn't really have to play very much because the night was over very, very quickly. I think this bodes well for him. I think it bodes well for Dame. I think it bodes well for offense here coming off of that evisceration. The Lakers, you can try all you want. Defensively, you're not going to fix things. And Mr. Doc Rivers, defensively, you've done nothing to bolster Milwaukee. It's going to be all offense all the time for both of these teams, which leads me to this. Why is this total 234.5? Now, it's 235.5 at every other book besides FanDuel right now. FanDuel, minus 110, standard. Let's just fire this one. I have this much closer. If you round up, I've got this at literally 240. So, again, this is a large discrepancy. Sounds silly again. Projection-based meets market-based a little bit here in the combination in conjunction of the two. But you look at a Milwaukee team that has no choice but to play with pace. They are 5th in the association, and the Lakers are 6th. I don't know how 234.5 with the quality of these stars is the number that got landed on, but I'm very happy to be locking an over for the first time all season in the total department. The very first one. I doubt that we see another one the rest of the way, but it's my favorite play on Friday. I'm as shocked as you are. Can't wait for them to go like 0 for a million from 3. That'll suck. That'll suck. Houston, Portland, we end our evening on a whimper, but I want to bitch for 1 second. 1 second. Alperen Sengun. Plus 2,200. I bet a half unit on it too. I was trying to get an 11-unit W for the premium Discord. Again, was feeling a little in my feelings. I'd been smashing. Everything had been good. I took a quarter and then I took another quarter unit. Took 2 cracks at it against the Spurs. He puts up like 45, a zillion and a zillion. It was an amazing performance. He outdueled Wemby. Didn't go back to the well against the Clippers because I'm like, well, it's a back-to-back. And he's a little bit, not dinged up, but it's a much more difficult Clippers matchup. And Zubats gets ripped off the floor. And Alperen Şengün smashes. I think I'm going to have to bet Alperen Şengün to triple-double out of principle. It's probably going to be a terrible number. I'm probably going to be very, very mad that I did it. I'm in shambles. Look at that. I'm in shambles. That's me. I do wear a lot of blue. I do have brown hair. Kind of looks like me. I am in shambles. Happy weekend, though. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely, lovely little slate that we have before us. A lot of games. Again, a total. I haven't locked a total all season long. This is insanity to me. And over. Actually, I think I locked one under earlier this season. I'll have to go back and check. That is my 2024 notes. Haven't had a total on the board, period, for me in the last couple of games. So... or in the last couple of days. So wild to see that one. Hopefully that goes well for us. Hopefully I have the right read. And actually, it's more just data-driven. It is just data. But anyway, producer Jacob, thank you so much. Another week in the books. Gets us another week closer to MLB. Let me know down below if you're excited for MLB. Can't wait to dust off the old home run model. I'm ready to party. If you're ready to party, we're ready to party. I'm ready to party. I love to party. Happy Friday. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets this weekend.